Welcome back to News This Week in Nursing Homes. I'm Nurse Bug. A nationwide survey reveals Americans overwhelmingly support early testing and treatment for Alzheimer's disease, highlighting the growing public awareness and sense of urgency around the condition. With more than 7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's, the highest number ever recorded, nearly 80% surveys said they want to know if they had Alzheimer's before symptoms began interfering with daily life. 91% said they'd take a blood-based biomarker test if available, and 80% would actively ask for testing rather than wait for a physician to bring it up. Nearly 60% would accept a moderate to high treatment risk to slow the disease's progression, and 92% said they'd likely or definitely take a med to stop Alzheimer's from worsening. Notably, 83 of the respondents said they'd be open to joining a clinical trial. Americans want faster access to diagnostic tools and treatments that could make a meaningful difference. With 99% agreeing early diagnosis is important and nearly 60% calling for cognitive screening to be part of routine preventative care, there's growing demand that could drive continued innovation in early detection and disease-modifying therapies. A new study found 1 in 3 older adults in care homes may be taking inappropriate medications, putting them at higher risk for hospitalization. BMC Geriatrics analyzed data for more than 6,300 residents, with the average residence being 83 years old and taking about 7 medications. 34.5% were prescribed at least one potentially inappropriate med, or PIM. Among those, 65% were on one PIM, 25% were on 2, and nearly 10% were taking more than 2. Residents taking more than one PIM had 2.6 times higher chance of hospitalization within a year compared to those not on any. The study highlighted dangers of polypharmacy and underscored the urgent need for stronger med management in care settings. Implementing pharmacist-led medication reviews and improving clinical awareness of PIMs and their consequences is recommended. Notably, the study used a precise classification system, suggesting targeted tools better support safe prescribing practices. Findings are a reminder for nursing home professionals to reevaluate med regimens regularly and ensure aligned with safety needs of older adults, helping reduce hospitalizations and improving overall quality of care. A coalition of 20 state attorneys general, or AG, is suing to block the dangerous, unconstitutional dismantling of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, arguing a March directive to terminate 10,000 HHS employees and restructure or eliminate multiple agencies jeopardized decades of public health infrastructure. Key concerns include cuts to staff maintaining federal poverty guidelines, which states use to determine eligibility for Medicaid and housing support, and layoffs to the Administration for Community Living, which supports services for disabled and older adults. The lawsuit alleges violations of federal law and U.S. Constitution, arguing administration bypassed Congress, ignored procedure, and weakened critical health protections, with particular concern for potential historic cuts to Medicaid. Reduced funding could force capped enrollment or Medicaid exit entirely for providers. With nearly 1 in 5 AL residents on Medicaid and many communities operating in fragile funding models, restructuring could send ripple effects through elder care, the healthcare system, and the economy. The lawsuit calls for immediate halt to changes and restoration of essential HHS programs serving millions of vulnerable Americans. Thank you for joining me for News This Week in Nursing Homes. To get more of Qsource news and info, visit qsource.org to view podcasts, sign up for the newsletter, and remember, for all of your QI needs, call the Q.